1 yards coming in just behind the young man Jimmy Norman, who has 276.
And now Alexander back to pass on 2nd and 9, pumps once and throws deep and overthrows John McLean, and it's picked off at the 42-yard line. Finally, Mickey Mulberry brings down Barry Elrod back at the 41-yard line. And Bob, that's only the 3rd interception Clint Alexander's thrown all year. He's not used to that.
Well, that one was entirely his fault. He had plenty of time, maybe just a little cold getting started, but clearly overthrew his receiver that time and right into the hands of the safety, who is now set up at White in pretty good position, starting from just inside the 40-yard line, outside the 40-yard line, I should say. So good start for Ed White, an auspicious start for Buchholz's Bobcats. And now we take a look at the Buchholz defense. Dale Warren right there, number 14 in the middle of the screen. Pascal Williams, who plays cornerback. 84 moving into your picture, Todd Harris in the right end. And number 75 right there is Clifford Bell, who alternates at the defensive tackle position with George Fleming.
But before the Commanders can get a playoff, quarterback Dwight Wilkins calls a timeout. And Coach Troy Lamb will talk it over with his sophomore quarterback. The rest of the starting offense for the Commanders of Ed White. Beside Dwight Wilkins, we'll have Dexter Jackson in the backfield, along with Helsher Graves, rather. At the wide receivers, Leelvy Smith and Mike Curry. Paul Shields is the tight end. Mike Dixon, Trent Blair, David Edwards, Sean Ward, and Scott McAloon are the offensive linemen. And White has had their problems offensively, Bob, and that can't help them in a game like this where Buchholz's defense has been just so outstanding over the course of the season.
Oh, that's a fact. They've only allowed 8 touchdowns all year. They've only given up 49 points for the entire season. The average, in fact, against Buchholz per play is 1.3 yards. So each team that's come up against them has come up short.
And now on 1st and 10 from the 40, give it to Jackson, and Jackson is hit hard at the 40-yard line. Big hit laid there by Kevin Peoples, the linebacker.
Kevin Peoples normally wears number 89. For the Bobcat fans who regularly view the team, he's wearing 85 tonight. Sort of misplaced his jersey, I guess. Maybe he loaned it out for Halloween.
10:08 to play, first quarter, no score from Citizens Field. And with a 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line, Wilkins to throw. And overthrows his man, Rodney Tozier. He was being shadowed by Gary Willis at that left cornerback spot.
It was a quick drop that time. You see the receiver limping off on the sideline, but Gary Willis there step for step, no chance to make that completion. Willis is senior and is not prone to get beat deep.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and 9 situation with 9:58 to play in the first quarter. Dwight Wilkins, the sophomore, is back to throw on another quick pattern. And again, he overthrows his man. That was Mike Curry that time. And again, Gary Willis was covering. So the Commanders can do nothing on their first possession. The interception by Elrod goes for naught, and they'll have to punt it away on 4th and 9 from the 39 of Buchholz. Jeff Todd, the backup quarterback, is the up man. And the punt is away. Lamar Thomas calling for the fair catch and making it at the 5-yard line. Not the best of plays, perhaps, by Lamar Thomas. It was an outstanding punt returner.
Gary Willis, who was on the defense on those 2 passes, just missed blocking that ball. He came in from the far part of our screen, from that right side as he approaching the punter. And I think the fact that maybe he was a lefty punter might have been a little difference there in him getting a hand on that punt, but he was very, very close. Willis with a good charge on that punt. Buchholz offense back in gear, deep in its own territory.
Again, Howell and Gainey, the running backs, but we'll see many more running backs for Buchholz before the night is over. They are so deep. Give it to Howell, the first man through, and he breaks a couple tackles, and he gets to the outside. He's got good speed for a big man. He's finally pushed out at the 33-yard line. 22, Leelvy Smith finally drew a beat on him and pushed him out at the 32-yard line.
Near the 32.
Well, Rodney Tozier, the right side linebacker, had him dead to rights, and he just eluded that tackle. good gain and good second effort, and you see the ability he has to break those tackles. That was a senior, he broke that time. And Buchholz now gets out of the shadow of its own goal with the first down of the ball game for the Cats.
Doing what they do best, run the ball. They have an outstanding quarterback in Alexander, but the strength of this Buchholz offense is really the running game and the incredible depth they have at running back. They have so many good runners, and Coach Wernicke will be moving them in and out throughout this contest.
We talked about the balance between the two starting running backs. Gainey, as we said a little bit earlier, comes into this ball game with a total of 271 yards, Norman with 276. You take a look at the Buchholz offense overall, and it is also balanced. We'll go over the numbers right after this play.
First down from the 32, give again to Howell, and Howell gets to about the 34. Paul Shields brought him down.
Buchholz can by far the leading ground gainer in offense of all the schools in the area. Buchholz averages 342.7 yards per game coming in. Total of 2,056 yards, and that is pretty evenly balanced. 1,067 rushing, 989 passing. Really, really good balanced offense.
And now it's 2nd and 8 from the 34. John McLean is in as a wideout, and Alexander's back to pass. Looking to the outside for Mulberry, but he overthrows him. Richard Freitas was covering Mulberry. So Alexander's missed on his first two, and he came in completing 66% of his passes. Just an unbelievable year so far for the young man from Buchholz. So it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 34 with 8:36 to play in the first quarter and no score from Citizens Field on Buchholz's homecoming. Give to Keith Howell, and Howell breaks another tackle. He's got the first down, but the ball comes loose. Everyone's chasing it, and it goes out of bounds. We'll wait for the signal.
Howell carries.
And they will give it to the Cats, but short of the first down as the ball squirted backwards.
Ball rolls out of bounds. 4th down.
So on 4th and about 2 from the 41, the punting unit will come on for Buchholz.
But that time, excuse me, Ken, look, that time is just as though the defender had put that helmet right on the ball, caused it to pop free.
And now Robbie Matheny's in to punt. He's the backup punter. Johnny Dickerson is the Cats' normal punter. But Matheny gets it away left-footed. And Leelvy Smith gets it at his own 25, and he's snowed under at the 28.
Well, the guts there to pick that ball up. We've seen all those black shirts coming at you, but he had a nice high hop right in his stomach and put his head down as a wise decision and picked up a couple of yards.
Five-yard return. 1st and 10 Commanders near the 29.
It is the first time, Ken, we mentioned we've seen Dickerson start as punter all season long. Maybe we can get some word later in the game about that.
And a first down from the 29. Wilkins will give to Dexter Jackson, and Jackson is dropped almost immediately.
Jackson carries.
That play was going nowhere from the start, Ken. Buchholz had great penetration right across the line, but especially from the right end. Rodney Young, who seemed to be in the backfield right with the snap of the ball. Young wears number 57, 5'8", senior defensive end.
It'll be illegal procedure on the Commanders. Back them up 5. And now they're talking it over, whether or not the Cats will take the penalty.
You see these Buchholz kids jumping up and down after each play. You know, they had a week off last week, and a lot of enthusiasm right there. When you had a week off and not had a chance to hit some people except your own teammates, you really want to get out on that field, and they're itching to go. As we said, Buchholz 6-0 coming in, and Ed White, the Commanders, come in with a record of 3-3.
So the penalty will move them back 5, and it'll be 1st and 15 from the 24. Wilkins to throw again on a quick pattern, looking for Leelvy Smith. Overthrows him again.
Gary Willis covers for the Cats.
.7:22 to play, opening quarter. No score from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Buchholz against Jacksonville Ed White, a district matchup that has other significance as well. Al Warnke going for his 200th career coaching victory. And the Commodores now with a 2nd and 15 from their own 24-yard line. Again, the quick throw. This time he has Leobi Smith. And Smith is up to about the 30.
Commanders now trying to stretch out the Buchholz defense, Ken. They see that time he didn't even take a 3-step drop, just stood up and whipped the ball to the right for the completion. Looking to stretch that defense out and maybe spring a man in the clear. Dwight Wilkins, the quarterback. White, by the way, goes with a 2-quarterback system. Wilkins, not too tall. He's only about 5'6", very good scrambler. They use another quarterback by the name of Todd, who is a little bit taller and probably a better passer. We'll see him later.
And on 3rd and 8 again with the quick throw. Wilkins looking, and he's looking long for Smith, but Gary Willis, another great defensive play from the cornerback spot. We've seen Gary Willis all year long. He's just a phenomenal athlete. Played linebacker last year, asked to move over to cornerback this year, and he's done an outstanding job at his new position.
Well, Willis has the size that the colleges like to look at. You know, he's only 171 pounds or so, maybe give or take a few pounds. Stands 6'1", really good size for a cornerback, but he's going to have to put on a little bit more weight when he moves up to college. He is a senior.
Del Klein gets the punt away, and he shanks it off his foot. But it takes a roll and it hops over the left shoulder of Lamar Thomas, and it'll be down at the 35-yard line of Buchholz.
Well, I don't know what Lamar Thomas was doing running straight at that ball. That thing could have taken a hop either way. And he just was running straight past it. Could have been a disaster for Buchholz had that ball nicked him, but he scooted by it, fortunately for the Cats. So neither offense really has been able to muster anything thus far in the first quarter as we approach the 6-minute mark of the first quarter here at Citizens Field on a beautiful football night, the homecoming for the Buchholz Bobcats.
And now Wayne Moore in at a fullback, spelling Keith Howell, but before the play can get underway, we've got a flag and a whistle. But we've solved the Johnny Dickerson mystery, Bob. Our man on the field, Paul Grove, tells us that Coach Warnke just wanted to give Robbie Matheny a try at punting. So now I know he has the backup fullback in case he needs another punter.
Well, we saw Dickerson out there on offense at split end, so we know he was okay. And now we know it's nothing physical. Just the coach's decision.
The Cats were offside on that play, so they'll back him up 5 and make it 1st and 15 from the 30 with just under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. John McClain and Lamar Thomas are the wideouts. Mickey Mulberry, the tight end. Alexander looking for McClain across the middle, has his man up to the 38-yard line. And Barry Elrod made the stop.
Elrod, another senior on defense there. Ed White, most of the veterans on this team are on their defense. They have a total of 8 seniors on the squad, and 7 of them play defense. Their weakness is in the offense, where they have to play with a lot of underclassmen.
And the Cats will look at a 2nd and 7 after an 8-yard hookup between Clint Alexander and John McClain.
And that, by the way, the first completion of the game for Clint Alexander after an interception and an incompletion. Got a little equipment problem with one of the White defensive linemen. There you see it.
And now we're set to get things underway. 2nd and 7 from the 38 of Buchholz. Give it to Gainey. Gainey breaks the tackle, gets across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Nice running by John Gainey as he has the first down for Buchholz.
Gainey had been horse-collared that time at about the 45-yard line, but the biggest man on the Commander defense, Big James Wright, number 78, the defensive end, but he somehow was able to slip out of his grasp and pick up the first down, and now we're going to have another penalty called. This time it will be against Ed White.
Bring it all the way down to the 38-yard line of White.
The Commanders draw a 15-yard
unsportsmanlike conduct. Clock running, 5 minutes to play first quarter on a 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Alexander gives to Wayne Moore. He slips down. His knee went down. So he will be downed at the 36-yard line. Slipped a bit on this wet grass. It's been a damp last few days in Gainesville. And it'll be a gain of 1. Brings up 2nd and 9 from the 36. And Alexander looking to throw. Looking for McLean again, and he's got him down to the 29-yard line. Nice out pattern. And Merlin Smith was the man who knocked McLean out of bounds.
McLean, the junior, that's his 11th reception of the year. He comes in with an average of 13.4 yards per reception, and he scored 1 touchdown on the year. McLean, only a junior, 6'2", 168-pounder for the Cats.
They didn't quite get the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 2 from the 29. Alexander will send Lamar Thomas flank right and McLean split left. Give it to the big fullback Wayne Moore. Moore has the first down and more as he's down inside the 25 to about the 23.
You can see right now that the Buchholz offense is just starting to get the feel of that defense out there in front of them. Sometimes in the early going, it takes an offense a little while to figure out where the players are lined up and what their reactions are and how they can move them. And it seems right now Buchholz is starting to solve the defense of Ed White right there. And they're starting to move the ball a little more consistently here on their 3rd possession.
From the 24-yard line will be 1st and 10. Pitch right goes to Jimmy Norman. Norman gets a good block and cuts inside before he's brought down at about the 17-yard line.
Tackled by Shields.
We see already Coach Wernicke getting some of his other backs into the game. Jimmy Norman, Wayne Moore, after Keith Howell and John L. Gainey started. We may also see Robbie Matheny and Rex Stevens before the night's out. Now we're set to go. Norman got 7. A little 2nd and 3 from the 17. 3:14 to play in the first quarter. Alexander to throw. Dickerson slipped on that wet grass, and there was a timing pattern between Alexander. Threw it where Dickerson was supposed to be.
Little mix-up there. I thought perhaps that Dickerson had slipped on that wet field down there. Certainly the timing was not there, but I'll tell you what, Clint Alexander is getting the best time he's gotten all year long, especially from the left side of the line. John Colbert that time, just his man got nowhere near getting past him. So the Buchholz line really doing the job with pass protection thus far in the early going.
And now 3rd and 3 from the 17. Give it to John L. Gainey. Gainey has the first down and more. He may go in, and he does. Touchdown, Buchholz. The elusive running of John L. Gainey gets the Cats on the scoreboard first.
Well, the difference between a good runner and a great runner when all things being equal, is that ability to cut back and make the moves against the grain. That time he saw sophomore linebacker James Simmons in front of him, made that little juke move, and it was all over. And by the time number 36, senior Barry Elrod, was over there, he was in the end zone.
Clint Alexander holds and Robert McCarthy kicks, and the Cats have a 7-0 lead on homecoming night at Citizens Field. They lead Jacksonville Ed White 7-0 with 3:01 to play in the first quarter.
David Frazier will kick off. Dexter Jackson is deep down the center for the Commanders.
And David Frazier will kick it off for the Cats. The Commanders send Dexter Jackson deep down the middle, standing at the 5. Kick is short, taken by Bob Bracken. Bracken from the 24 gets out to about the 31-yard line. And the Commanders will try to get something going on offense. 2:56 to play, first quarter, and the Cats leading 7-0.
Third touchdown, by the way, Ken, third touchdown of the year for Gainey on that run. 24th touchdown of the season for the Buchholz offense.
On first down, the give will go to 33, Helsher Graves, and he's to about the 33.
Stopped by Sid Banks.
We want to remind you next week, our game of the week perhaps could be called the game of the year. The St. Buchholz Bobcats will take on the unbeaten and top-ranked Merritt Island Mustangs right here at Citizens Field, so join us for that one. Right here we have 2 minutes to play in the first quarter, and the Commanders of Ed White will face the second down. Give it up inside the 34, Brian Shoemake, and the young sophomore is across the 35 to about the 37.
Buchholz linebackers in there, 85 Kevin Peoples, 22 Sim Banks. Buchholz linebackers really know how to stretch the field and play the good balance. Right across the field they have 4 really super linebackers, 89 Kevin Peoples, who tonight is wearing number 85, Sim Banks 22, Seaber McRae 49, and Todd Harrison number 84.
So it'll be 3rd and 3 from the 37, and running the option again.
Ouch.
They give that time to William Means.
Robbie Hudson put a licking on him very quickly.
Means
Tackled by Bell.
lost a couple.
Clifford Bell was also in on that tackle. The defensive down lineman for the Cats, 64 Robbie Hudson, 57 Rodney Young at the ends, George Fleming 73, Clifford Bell 75, and Dale Warren at the tackles.
Del Klein gets the punt away. It was almost blocked, and Thomas has it from the 31. He's explosive. Look out, he's across midfield to the 40. Drops the football, but bounces right back into his hands. And finally, the punter, Del Klein, makes the tackle down at the 28-yard line. Boy, he's explosive.
Very explosive. Also has too many moves for his own good. He faked the ball right out of his hands.
He may have become the first man ever to dribble a football. That one bounced right back up into his hands.
That little basketball that time. Rick Swain, who's the head basketball coach, who has about 7 of his players on this team, might want to take a look at him, the way he dribbled that ball upfield.
A little gift for Lamar Thomas on Halloween, and on 1st and 10 from the 26. This should be the final play of the first quarter. Give to John L. Gainey. Gainey is down inside the 20 to about the 18.
Gainey carries.
Rich Freitas, senior left linebacker at that time, grabbed a hold of him from behind and was able to yank him down with some help from his teammates. But as you said, Ken, end of the first quarter right now, 12 minutes gone by at Citizens Field, and the Buchholz Bobcats, ranked third in the state of Florida, lead by a score of 7-0.
We start the second quarter from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Buchholz Bobcats leading the Commanders of Ed White 7-0. And as we start the second period, it'll be a 2nd and 2 from the 18. Give it off inside to Wayne Moore. Wayne Moore is close to the first down, and down near the 16. No need for a measurement. Moore was short. It'll make it 3rd and 1 from about the 17.
They threw a pass right now. I really think they'd catch Ed White off guard, but I think they're going to stick to the power game and probably give it off to Gainey.
Instead, Alexander to the air and misses connections with Thomas in and out of his hands. We've got a flag down almost immediately.
Well, they went with the deception, Coach Warnicke did, but you see, flag down on the play. Did have his man open. Clint did not have a good pass that time, and it's going to go against the Bobcats. Looks like holding.
Thomas went inside on that play, and Alexander threw it outside.
Wayne Moore out, Keith Howell in at fullback now, bringing the play in from Coach Warnicke. And we see the 5 yards for the procedure against the Bobcats.
So 3rd and 6 from the 22 now. Alexander gives to Keith Howell again, and Howell is close, but not quite close enough for the first down. It's to about the 17.
Howell carries.
Good fight that time from the young, the junior linebacker Paul Shields for Ed White, fighting off a block to make that tackle and to keep the Cats short of first down, and brings up 4th and 1. As you can see, Cats are going to make the first big decision by going for it here on 4th down.
Well, it's homecoming. 1 for the fans on 4th and 1. Give it to John L. Gainey. Gainey's going to be close. Commander defense pursued well and shut that down, but Gainey may have gotten enough for the first down.
Well, that's one of the few times that we've had a breakdown in the blocking for Buchholz that time. Eric Nix, junior left end, was able to get through untouched on the left side, and he actually did hit Gainey in the backfield. So it's going to be very close. If he made it, he did not make it by much. And how about this? White takes over.
They didn't get it. They stopped Gainey short. That's the first big break for the Commanders. That's what they needed to turn the momentum to their side.
Exactly. But Buchholz had it all built up with that long punt return by Lamar Thomas, and now this breathes new life into Ed White. So shifting the momentum for sure. And in the confidence. Good effort that time by the Ed White defense. And now it's up to the Buchholz defense to turn it right back around. Not an easy thing.
The Commanders will send Mike Curry and Leelvy Smith wide, but give it up inside. Wilkins kept, and he got to about the 18-yard line. And now we've got a man down in the field.
Dale Warren had good penetration on that play, number 14. Warren, a 5'10 defensive tackle. He's a senior. He got good penetration on that play, beat his block, and caused that play to fall apart before it even got to the line of scrimmage. And you see player down in the yellow and green of Ed White.
Looks like a knee injury. They're working on that left knee. We can't spot who the player is.
Gives us time, Kent, to run down the District 2 5A standings. Buchholz, although undefeated at 6-0 and ranked third in the state of Florida, actually is in second place overall in the district, as they're 1-0. Of course, Ribault is 2-0 with a 5-1 overall record, but Buchholz, with the perfect record, has the ranking in the state. Ed White is third right now with a record of 1-1, 3-3 overall. Orange Park 0-1, and Forest is 0-2. And you see the player being helped to his feet, and he seems to be okay. That's senior Alton Cohn, number 54. And he's going to have a little assistance to get off the field.
Actually, Bob, if you're checking, Ribault won last night, beat Orange Park, so they're 3-0 in the district, and that makes the matchup in 2 weeks, Buchholz against Ribault.
And you'd like me to say during my rundown, late game not included.
So now we know.
Newspapers get away with it, why can't I?
Don't forget next week, Buchholz and Merritt Island. The week after that, Gainesville High against Ocala Forest. That one will go a long way toward, if it won't determine outright, that district championship. And on 2nd and 9 from the 18, give inside to Helsher Graves. Graves is across the 20 to about the 21.
We've seen it so many times this year, these teams that come into Gainesville and play Buchholz choose to attack the middle of the Buchholz defense, which is their strongest part. You have to stretch them out. There's no way you're just going to run it right up the middle against Buchholz, especially the way they alternate their defensive tackle. Someone's always in there fresh. And really, that is the heart of the defense. They need to start running wide and throw some quick passes, but it's really tough to run it up the gun against the Cats.
And if you go to the outside, well, the linebackers are just so darn quick. They pursue so well, you're stuck. And on 3rd and 6 from the 21, flying in and making the sack almost immediately, Rodney Young brings down Dwight Wilkins.
Rodney Young didn't go after the quarterback that time. He went to the 7-step drop spot, and he was actually there before the quarterback got there. He almost outran the play. Had that quarterback been able to stop a little earlier, Young would have been by him, but he actually made a nice play by going right where he thought the quarterback was going to go. Incredible quickness, Rodney Young.
And once again, we'll see Del Klein and Lamar Thomas, the dangerous punt return man, standing at the 47-yard line.
Let's keep an eye on Gary Willis. He's come close twice.
Now the Cats drop back to set up the return. And the punt will go out of bounds at about the 34.
Fine punt. Out of bounds. Near the commander, 33.
8:05 remaining at the Ed White 33. It'll be 1st and 10. And Buchholz, as you see, leading Ed White by a score of 7-0 here in our Cox Cable Channel 8 high school game of the week. Buchholz, Ed White from Citizens Field.
The word on Alton Cohn is it's an ankle. He probably will not be back in this ball game tonight. And that hurts. He's one of their best linebackers for the Commanders. And Alexander hits John out of the backfield. Jimmy Norman, and he's in for the touchdown. Sorry about that, folks. I missed it, but you didn't. Clint Alexander on 1st down from the 33. A flare pass to the outside to Jimmy Norman, and Norman took it in with that great speed and great moves.
Well, Norman had to make an adjustment on that play because it was actually tipped. Alexander threw that sidearm, and it was tipped by a sophomore, Dennis Guidry, coming in. But he didn't knock it down, and he just deflected it enough where Norman could recover and make the catch and then make a nice move into the end zone. So Norman right now, I believe that's his 4th touchdown of the season.
Kane Alexander holds, and Robert McCarthy kicks. And the Cats have a 14-0 lead. 7:52 to play in the first half. And on homecoming night and Halloween night here in Gainesville, it's Buchholz 14 and Ed White nothing.
Well, as the Bobcat band whoops it up, as the Cats lead at homecoming by a score of 14-0, let me correct myself. That was the 5th touchdown of the year for Jimmy Norman. And remember, Norman, only a sophomore, has already been racking up some big numbers for Buchholz.
That scoring drive covered 33 yards in just one play. Clint Alexander to Jimmy Norman for the touchdown. And now David Frazier kicks off. And over on the left side from the 19 is 43, William Means. Means with a nice break, gets to the outside. Gary Willis draws a beat on him. And now he gets by Willis. And he's across the 40 to the 45-yard line.
Well, maybe that time Buchholz a little too busy patting themselves on the back, having scored another touchdown. Really poor coverage that time, as they should have had that kickoff returner blocked up way downfield. There is a flag down. This play may come back, but Buchholz did not look good at all on that kick coverage.
And it will be against White, and it will come back. So mark this off a ways down to the 13-yard line of Ed White.
Commanders are penalized half the distance of the goal for flipping. First and 10 for Ed White. Near their own 13.
So on the clip that sends them back half the distance, it'll be first down from the 13 with 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. Wilkins looking to throw once again. Throwing the out pattern to Smith and a little out in front of Leovy Smith.
But he was really hit from behind as he released that ball, punished by George Fleming. Took some jolt. Quarterback can't take too many of those in a game, I'll tell you what. Never saw Big Fleming coming and took some shot. Maybe that's why they alternate the quarterback.
We have not seen Jeff Todd yet. Perhaps we will if Coach Troy Lamb thinks he needs a passing arm. They use Jeff Todd to throw the ball.
I'll tell you what, if he takes many more hits like that last one, he'll be in.
2nd and 10 from the 13 now. Looking to throw again is Wilkins. Looking long again and overthrows his man. Looking for Rodney Tozier again. Pascal Williams was shadowing him.
Well, it's not a bad idea, Ken, but what they have to understand is that their receivers aren't faster than the Buchholz defensive backs, and that type of play, it's just not going to work unless the receiver falls down, the defender falls down, which is a possibility, but usually you have to have a speed burner on the outside to be able to beat those cornerbacks. But when they're, the bigger, which the Buchholz defensive backs are, and they're just as fast, it's just not going to work.
Now Mike Curry and Leovy Smith are split wide to the right. On 3rd and 10 from the 13, again looking to throw Wilkins, and Wilkins has William Means, and Means on the screen is close to the first down.
And that's a different story. You get a throw out into the flat, you get the completion made, then you put it in the open field, and everybody always is plagued by missed tackles, and that time Buchholz missed too. First man that had a shot at him, I believe, was Todd Harrison, who's usually a very, very good tackler, but Harrison missed that first tackle. And good play by the offense and some nice running there once he got the ball.
He did get the first down to the 24-yard line, so a pickup of 11 makes it 1st and 10. 6:44 to play first half, and the Bobcats leading 14-0. Dwight Wilkins running the option, gives it to the first man through. That's Brian Shoemake. Shoemake's to about the 25.
Shoemake carries. Stopped by Fleming.
Taking a look at the Buchholz defense, 64 there, Robbie Hudson. 47 was Gary Willis.
On 2nd and 10, another quick throw from Wilkins. And his receiver, I don't think, knew that ball was coming. Means again, but it goes incomplete.
Coverage for the Cats.
Well, the patterns they're running and the plays they're calling, they're going to have to expect the ball very quickly because the quarterback's not taking a drop. And if you don't take a deep drop, that obviously means that the defensive people are going to get to you faster. So they have to be ready to expect the ball very quickly.
And now we see Jeff Todd in at quarterback for the Commanders, and he's back to pass on third down, being pressured and brought down at the 5-yard line. Big George Fleming with a little help from his friends Rodney Young and company.
By Fleming.
And that's the 25th quarterback sack of the year for Buchholz, averaging just about 4 per game.
That one was a big one, a 19-yard loss. Todd just kept going back and back and back till it was almost too late.
Speaking of going back and back, that punter can't go too much farther back.
Del Klein gets it off again, left-footed again. Buchholz almost got it. And at the 35, it's Lamar Thomas. Slips through the defenders and down to the 23.
Or Thomas will handles that ball like, must be watching some of those Walter Payton Chicago Bear games because he holds that ball like a grapefruit.
First and 10, Cats.
Dangerous way to handle the ball.
Commanders 24.
It's never a problem until you give it up. Thomas hasn't yet, but I'm sure once he does, they're going to want to change that practice.
He has dropped one tonight, but it came right back to him. Now first and 10 from the 24. Wayne Moore and John Gainey in the eye. This is Gainey. Stopped almost immediately, no gain.
Gainey carries.
Richard Freitas, number 13 that time, in on the tackle, along with Tony Pirelli, as they got good penetration that time on Buchholz's offensive left side to make a good hit right there at the line of scrimmage.
Now we've got an official timeout momentarily as they look over the equipment of Richard Freitas. Gainey was stopped for no gain, and it'll be second and 10 from the 24. Alexander to throw, pumps once, looking for Thomas. Again, he threw it out, and Thomas went in. Nice communication on that one.
They ran the dummy play that time where you give the pump and hope to catch the defense coming in, looking for the interception on the quick hitter, and then have the man all alone, but the timing wasn't there, as Thomas and Alexander did not hook up on that one. Buchholz has had some problems with their patterns today. A lot of Alexander's passes have fallen way incomplete, and you know it's not his inaccuracy as much as the patterns aren't being run correctly. So the mistiming between quarterback and receiver a lot today.
Third and 10 now from the 24. Give it to Howell. Howell's got the first down and more. Inside the 10 to the 5 and down to the 3. Keith Howell putting on a clinic here tonight. 21-yard gain to the 3.
First and goal, Cats at the 4.
Call it the 4 and make it a 20-yard gain.
Keith Howell with some hard running. We talked about the tailbacks, Jimmy Norman and John Gainey, how they're pretty close in yardage. Keith Howell and Wayne Moore have been sharing it very closely. That run puts Howell over the 200-yard mark for the season.
Now double tight end. I look for him to give it to Howell again, and they do. And Howell's down to about the 2.
Howell carries.
And now we've got another man down for the Commanders.
No, they didn't get it.
David Warren shaken up.
Well, Ken, you were right on that call. Let's see if you can anticipate this one again. Make yourself offensive coordinator this time. 1 for 1 thus far.
6:30 trap.
Oh, they're helping Andy Bullard off the field, the shaken up linebacker for the Commanders. 3:37 to play in the first half, and the Cats holding a 14-0 lead on homecoming night, with Coach Al Wernicke looking for his 200th career victory. Howell got a yard. Second and goal from the 3.
Bullard walks off under his own power. Seems to be okay. Referee Richard Watkins calls second down.
As well he should. Second and goal. Give it to Howell again, but going nowhere. 78 James Wright smelled that play nicely and stopped it for a gain. No gain at all.
All right, about 240 pounds up right there in the middle of that line. Tough man to move. You're only going to have so much success against those big guys moving them out. And that time Wright won.
Third and goal from the 4 now. Todd Harrison and Mickey Mulberry are in as the Cats are in their double tight end set. Lamar Thomas, the only man wide. And we've got a flag. Cats may have taken too much time.
We didn't even get set. That's good.
Cats are moving back.
Offside.
Let's see if it's delay or procedure. Offside. Someone must have moved in that offensive line.
Offside.
5 yards and brings up an entirely different play now.
Bobcats are penalized 5 yards.
Let's see if they run some type of fade pattern into the corner of that end zone over there. Haven't had that much success once it's gotten down into the tight part of the field. Running the ball against Ed White. Herman Anders here with a pretty good goal line stand.
And now the Cats are going to take a timeout. They'll talk things over with 2:39 to play in the first half. And the Cats on the long end of a 14-0 score.
Yeah, I was going to think. We probably will go fade.
It's been a slow first half. White has been unable to get much going offensively. The Cats have seen their offense come around after a slow start.
Well, it's a little early to talk about it, but Buchholz very confident coming into this game against Ed White. Lead 14-0. Pretty close to going in with an even bigger lead in the half. And you have to start thinking about next week's game with Merritt Island. You don't like to do that with another half to go, but I'm sure that's on the mind of a lot of the players out there. Right now it's homecoming. They're having a lot of fun, but they're going to have to play a lot better next week. Again, it's early to talk about that, but the offense, the way it has looked thus far, really, it's not going to make it. They haven't really pushed Ed White around the field like the Buchholz offense is capable of doing against an opponent of this caliber.
And now the men in stripes are having a powwow as they talk something over.
13 standing right there? With 13 standing right there?
A little bogged down here. The officials with a conference there. Crew Chief Richard Watkins, Don Dixon, the umpire, Rick Fair, the line judge, and Bart Moore, the linesman, all in there.
How he checks the thing.
Well, we're finally ready to go. Third and goal from the 9 now. Clint Alexander and the Bobcats. And Alexander looking to throw. Hits Johnny Dickerson for the touchdown. They went to the quick slant into Dickerson. Alexander's second touchdown throw of the night and his 11th of the year.
Well, Barry Elrod, number 36, who was covering on that place, just came up screaming at the official saying that Dickerson came down and the ball hit the ground. But he's not going to get it. And the Cats pick up another point. They're going for 2.
John Allegheny carries it in on the little deception play there, but there's a flag down almost immediately.
Legal set, I believe, is going to be the call against Buchholz, as I don't believe they were aligned correctly on the line of scrimmage.
You can win the same thing.
Just line up forward and
See
stay
what
forward.
I'm saying? Look, I'm doing the blind, or then I go back to the defense first. Look at it, watch it. What? No, he's not doing it. But that's the play. I'm looking at him the first time I said, "Go why you have been trying around like that?"
So it is a procedure call, and they'll move the Cats back, and now they will
Cats are penalized 5 yards.
attempt the kick for real. Kane Alexander, Clint's younger brother to hold, and Robert McCarthy looking for another point after to make it 21. And the kick is up and good, and it's 21-0 Buchholz. 2:30 to play in the first half. The Cats jumped on the board first in this one in the first quarter on a 17-yard John Allegheny touchdown run. McCarthy added the first of his 3 extra points, and it was 7-0. Then in the second quarter, Clint Alexander hit Jimmy Normand out of the backfield on a 33-yard touchdown pass. And as you just saw, on 3rd and goal from the 9, Alexander to Dickerson for 9 yards and a touchdown. And with the point after, it's 21-0. And again, David Frazier to kick off, and again, Dexter Jackson is deep, flanked by Merlin Smith and William Means.
We look at the return team of Ed White, commander number 80, Paul Shields, a junior.
Frazier will kick off.
I'll stand here if you want me to.
Jackson is deep.
I just drew it the next one.
Frazier gets a kick away, and it'll be Means from the 16. Cuts to the outside, across the 20 to the 24-yard line
Means on the return.
before Rodney Young brings him out of bounds. So with 2:18 to play in the first half, Commanders of Ed White will set up shop at the 28-yard line and try to get back in this football game.
Well, the Buchholz defense, which has been the dominating factor in so many of this season's games, has one more series to go as we're under the 2-minute mark with the clock running before they go into the halftime, halfway towards a shutout.
We see Dwight Wilkins back in at quarterback. We saw Jeff Todd on the last possession. And they give us to Dexter Jackson. Jackson wrapped up by Kevin Peoples at the 28.
It's what you were talking about earlier, Ken. The linebackers are so quick. That time when the play did get past the offensive line, right there, Kevin Peoples comes over to make the tackle. Just a very, very short game, maybe only 1 yard.
A minute 20 to play in the first half, and a 2nd and 10 from the 28. Wilkins with the give again to Jackson, and Jackson to the outside, knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Gary Willis with a nice stop.
Tackle by Willis.
Some of the second-string defenders in that time, Grady Brown in for Buchholz. I think he was caught a little bit off guard that time by the quickness of the running back for White.
First down for Ed White.
Jackson showing some good running that time as he got to the outside. First time really that the White has been able to spring a runner to the outside against Buchholz.
Jackson got the first down, and from the 41 with 1:08 to play.
First time they've got 2 wide receivers on the same side, man, in the slide here, and they go the other way.
Go again to Rodney Tozier on that screen, and Tozier's about up to midfield.
Arthur O'Neill.
Send Banks over to help on that tackle. The way they had it aligned, they had brought the Buchholz defense to the near side of the field, and they had that 1 wide receiver isolated. It was a good call and a good game.
Quarterback draw that time by Dwight Wilkins on 2nd and 1 as they try to get the first down. He may have it.
Of course, that one was questionable. The quarterback sneaked to pick up the first down a little too late in the half to be worrying about picking up the first down on 2nd down here with only 30-something seconds left. And George Fleming made him pay. Now they got the first down, but I don't know if they can get 4 plays off the way they're going.
Clock running, 35 seconds to play in the first half. Commanders have Lee Elvie Smith and Mike Curry wide, and again the quick pass off the hands of Rodney Tozier.
They've done that enough where they're going to try to get that isolation over there. It's not going to happen at this stage of the game. They're going to have to throw the ball upfield if they want to get some points. They've still got 47 yards to go, and you're not going to do it nickel and diming it and trying to get a guy out of bounds or breaking it on the sideline, because you're not anymore in a one-on-one situation. The Buchholz defense is playing off, and you're not going to get a man in single coverage anymore.
Second and 10 from the 48, 22 seconds to play in the half, and Wilkins dropping back deep. Pressured again, rolling out to his right. Throwing on the run, and short hops it to Lee Elvie Smith.
Wilkins intended for Smith.
We talked about a little earlier about the Ed White Commodores two-quarterback system. Wilkins a scrambler and showing some good time.
Timeout, Ed White.
Getting free from that rush.
Oh, not quite to halftime. We've got 14 seconds to go.
Change for service throughout the season.
And the Commodores have called a timeout.
4-11, Jim Ashcom and Rob Eddy. Thank you, gentlemen.
It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 45 once things get underway.
Of course, at halftime, we've got the homecoming festivities right here at Citizens Field. Buchholz with the football game well in hand, and pretty good crowd right below us here, waiting to see who will be homecoming queen for 1986. And we've got a look coming in here at some of the lovely young ladies they've got participating, and it should be, it's going to be a beautiful court. Can't wait to see who the queen will be.
First, we'll wait to see what the Commodores or the Commanders will do on 3rd and 6 from the 45. With just 14 seconds to play in the first half. They pitch out and throw back across the field. Jeff Todd, they pitched out to Jeff Todd, the backup quarterback, and he tried to hit Dwight Wilkins off to the other side. There's a flag down. And the Commanders can basically just do nothing right, as now a holding penalty has set them back more unless the Cats decline it.
Well, I would imagine they would decline it because it'll only give them one shot. This will bring up a 4th down. And with 8 seconds left, they could conceivably get 2 plays off. So why give them a 3rd down, even though they're going to be backed up yardage? So I imagine the play is to decline this. And you can barely see Richard Watkins there on the right side of your screen, indicating that Coach Al Wernicke has sent word over to his defensive captain on the field to decline the penalty. 4th and about 6.5, and 8 seconds to go. So this is the last play of the first half, barring a penalty on the defense.
Captain Rochelle Reaver. The Bobcat flag corps is under the leadership of Captains Kerry Schmidt and Laura McKenzie. The band will begin tonight's special homecoming program with a medley of Clinton Williams marches. The first entitled Killian, to be followed by a rendition of Strategic Air Command. So now, featuring Drum Major Arthur Bright, we present the pride of Buchholz. Ladies and gentlemen, the Buchholz High School Marching Bobcat Band. Of the 1986-87 Buchholz High School Homecoming Choir. Here comes our freshman Queen and King, Christy Warren and Anwell Wilkinson. They're riding in a 1986 Mustang, owned by Merrill Puckett. Next, our sophomore royalties, Queen Christy Waring and King Greg Moran, riding in a 1967 Corvair owned by John Hancock. And approaching midfield, the junior class queen, Lori Scott, and her king, Troy Weesey, in a 1966 Mustang owned by Terry Myers. And now comes this year's Mr. and Miss Spirit, Tyrone Kemp and Anna Bonilla, riding in a 1970 Mustang owned by Catherine Hobson. This year's Mr. and Miss Black and Gold are Gary Wood and Kelly Jones. They're traveling in a 1985 Mustang owned by Holly Jones. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the approach of a 1962 Corvette owned by Roy Camp, we are pleased to present the 1986-87 Homecoming Queen, Dana Camp, and her king, Clint Alexander. Because Clint is with his football team during halftime, Dana will be escorted by Student Council President Weston Bauer. With our band and our heart formation, we direct your attention to midfield and the formal presentation of the 1986-87 Buchholz High School Homecoming Choir. The band has selected the presentation of the Beatles composition of Yesterday, to be followed queen is Christy Warren. Her team is Admiral Willis. Christy is a member of Triple Club in Alpha and is vice president of the freshman class. Admiral is a member of Sexy and enjoys basketball and swimming. And here comes our sophomore queen and king, Christy Waring and Greg Moran. Christy is a member of Latin Club and enjoys running. Greg is a member of the JV football and basketball teams and his hobby is baseball. Next, our junior queen and king, Lori Scott and Troy Weesey. Lori is president of SECME and a member of Jamal and Teenagers. She enjoys softball, swimming, and reading. Troy is a member of GABA and Student Council. She's on the honor roll and enjoys soccer, basketball, and windsurfing. And now, this year's Mr. and Mrs. Spirit, Tyrone Kemp and Hannah Waniga. Hannah is a member of KEEPOR, Teenagers, National Honor Society, and the Spanish Honor Society. He is also a member of the varsity tennis team. Tyrone is president of Jamal and runs West, Detroit dancing and singing. Here now is Mr. and Mrs. Black and Gold, Gary Wood, and Kelly Jones. Kelly is a member of Teenagers and the National Honor Society and enjoys choir and dancing. Gary is a member of GABA and Teenagers and plays on the varsity baseball team. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the rulers and supreme for the evening are 1986-87 homecoming queen and king, Dana Camp and Clint Alexander. Dana is escorted by Weston Bauer. Dana is a member of the varsity cheerleading squad and she enjoys sailing. Clint is on the varsity basketball and football team and is a member presentation of our Buchholz High School students. Our thanks to Principal May Gainesville and to auxiliary coordinator Renee Bison for their support and guidance. Special thanks to our two homecoming chairmen, Kathy Shekanoff and Nancy Stein, and to the dedicated Buchholz members who put it all on. Special thanks to Official Coordinator for donating the tornado. This is your announcer, Bill Saban. Letting you to give a final round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Buchholz High School Team Podcast Band. Balloons for tonight's show, furnished by Burger King. We would like to thank all the sponsors and participants in the car decorating contest this evening. Thanks to our sponsors, it was a great success. The winner of the 1980
I'm here with Bobcat coach Al Wernicke again. Coach, happy with the first half effort?
Well, I thought we got off to a slow start in the first quarter. Very happy with the defense. They played excellent. Offense finally got going in the second quarter. I was disappointed we had 2 turnovers early in the game, but we've come back now, and the defense has just been super.
Leading 21-0 now, you're going to be putting some second-teamers in?
Yeah, we'll go with our first group one more series and hope we can score, then let the young kids play the rest of the game.
Looking toward Merritt Island?
Well, yeah, starting Sunday we will. You know, tonight we'll just try to sever it for 200, and then we'll get to work on Merritt Island because they're going to be a one-fine football team.
Congratulations on number 200 if you get it tonight, Coach.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul Grove, with Coach Al Wernicke of the Bobcats. At halftime, they crowned the homecoming king and queen, and guess who was the king? If you guessed Clint Alexander, give yourself 10 points. Storybook season continues for the senior. He's led his team to a 21-0 halftime lead here at homecoming. From Cox Cable Heights High School football game of the week, Buchholz leading Ed White 21-0. Recap the scoring for you. John Algainey got things going first for the Cats. A 17-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, and after Robert McCarthy's point after, it was 7-0. And Alexander hit the first of his 2 touchdown passes, hit Jimmy Norman out of the backfield for 33 yards and 6 points. And then later on in the second quarter was Alexander to Johnny Dickerson from 9 yards out. And that's where we stand now as we get set to start the second half of play from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Ken Tomash and Bob DeWessio with you. And Bob, we didn't really see the Cats put it away like we thought they might be able to.
Well, we just heard Coach Wernicke at halftime there, right before the kickoff here, saying how he wasn't pleased with the offense early in the game. Those 2 turnovers bothered him, but he had high praise for the defense, and pretty much that's the story of it. The defense has carried this ball game for Buchholz. It's not been an offensively perfect game by any stretch of the imagination for the Cats, but they seem to get it in gear, and as he said, he's going to try to let the first string put a touchdown on the board and then let the young kids play. And just have a happy homecoming with all the kids getting into the game. This team at White, however, they have shown that they're pretty gritty on their own. They actually led Ribault 7-0 going into the fourth quarter of their game with Ribault. 3-0, I should say, in a game they lost 14-3. So it's a capable ball club. It's just a team that is just having trouble moving the ball offensively. But got some tough kids on defense. But right now they seem to be a little bit outmanned. But again, by a result with Ribault, you see that this team does have some potential for putting a scare into people.
David Frazier will start the second half by kicking off with Dexter Jackson, deep for Ed White. Flanked by William Means and Merlin Smith. And Frazier is set, and we're set to go. The second half is underway. This is Means from the 15. To the 30 and stopped there by the Buchholz special teams.
That was
38-75. Tackled by Sid Banks.
he was in there strong, wasn't he?
15-yard return.
And the Commanders will open up in pretty good field position from their own 30.
From their own 30.
We see Dwight Wilkins still in at quarterback. When the Commanders did try to go to the air in the first half, it was on quick little dropbacks and short screens to the outside. And that didn't do much. Before things can get started, some confusion on the Buchholz side of the defense. Makes them call a timeout.
Timeout, Bobcats.
Unnecessary. Useless.
So as we've seen, Bob, if Coach Al Wernicke is not pleased with his offense in the first half, you can imagine what Troy Lamb was saying to his troops at halftime.
Well, Coach Lamb, really a very classy coach, and tells it like it is. He said it, that he realizes that his team does not have a very good offense this year. They've got a young quarterback. He's only a sophomore. He's learning a lot, but he's just not ready to be thrust into this type of competition that they play in 5A.
And we're set to go on first down from the 30-yard line. Wilkins with the give to Jackson. Jackson stopped for a loss by that Buchholz defense.
Clifford Bell on the stop.
The line of scrimmage is the 29 after a loss of 1 by Dexter Jackson. And now Mike Curry and Leelby Smith will go out slot right for sophomore quarterback Dwight Wilkins. And he's back to throw. Pressured again and slips down. And Rodney Young will complete the sack back at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Rodney Young has about 30 tackles this year. I think 26 of them are probably behind the line of scrimmage. Always in on that hard rush. And I really would like to find out exactly how many sacks he has, but I know he's made just an awful lot of tackles, a slew of them behind the line of scrimmage.
So loss of 5 on that sack. And it'll be 3rd and 16 from the 24. Clock running, 10:15 to play, third quarter. Wilkins, another quick drop. Out to Rodney Tozier. Tozier only gets up to about the 28.
Buchholz defense, you see them, they're slapping high fives and everything. They're playing like this is the start of the ball game, or they're in a tight game in the fourth quarter. You could not tell just from looking at them that they're in a high side of a 21-0 score. A really fired up team.
Del Klein will punt with Lamar Thomas standing at his own 40. And the Cats peel off and set up for the return. The left-footed Klein gets away a nice kick. And it'll go out of bounds at about the 42. Again, we saw Lamar Thomas rushing toward that one as he did earlier. That one came a little closer to him than the first one did. Gonna have to have a talk with that guy.
Out of bounds near the Bobcat 46. .26-yard punt, no return.
So the homecoming king, Clint Alexander, will start his offense from the 46-yard line with 9:26 to play in the third quarter. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight. He'll have Keith Howell and John Algaini in the backfield. Both of those guys having very good nights. Pitch left to Gainey. There's a flag down, and Gainey's across midfield and down to the 47.
Gainey carries. Flag on the play. Tackle by Freitas.
This is going to be a clip on the Cats, and that'll move them back.
On the running back. That'll be on the running back.
This will set the Cats back to their own 30.
Hit the F pattern and hit the inside man on the turn.
Catch and penalized 15 yards for flipping.
Okay.
So it'll be 1st and 25. You're watching Cox Cable Heights High School football game of the week from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Ken Tomash, Bob DeLessio with you. And in the third quarter with 9:06 to play in the third, it's Buchholz 21 and Jacksonville Ed White nothing. A homecoming night, Halloween night at Citizens Field. 1st and 25 from the 30, and with the quick screen to McLean is Alexander, and McLean dives forward from the 45 to about the 47.
Alexander, complete to McLean.
They pick up 8 yards, bring up 2nd and 17. Cats just content to let the clock wind down. They're taking their time between plays.
Rick said we were in the last place because they can go and return.
And Alexander looking to throw again on 2nd and 17. He's got Lamar Thomas up near midfield. Thomas shakes a tackler, but is not able to shake Barry Elrod. He does get across the 50 to about the 47-yard line of Ed White, and it'll be the first down.
Too intelligent man.
Lamar Thomas, leading receiver on Buchholz, comes in with an amazing average. 26.8 yards per reception. 9 touchdowns on the year.
And from the 47, first down, Alexander looking to throw once again. And the ball gets away from him. That will be a fumble. Picked up by Paul Shields, and Shields gets down to the 35. We saw Richard Freitas come storming in, and he knocked the ball out of Alexander's hand.
Well, I don't know if that was a fumble or a scrum the way they were going after. Well, three turnovers now for Buchholz. And maybe that first team is going to play a little longer than Coach Warnke had anticipated. Clock running, we're under the 7-minute mark. But just gives the defense a little bit more incentive. Starting inside their 35-yard line right there.
Again, we see 2 wideouts, Leo V. Smith and Mike Curry. And on first down from the 35, give it up inside to Helsher Graves.
And again, the defense in the middle, stacking things up there. Number 75, Clifford Bell, leading the way. As we take a look at the Buchholz offense on the sideline, trying to get things straightened out. Lamar Thomas there, walking into your screen, number 1. What a great year he's having. Only a junior. We talked about that average, 26.8. Almost double the next closest man as far as average is concerned. And, of course, he leads all receivers in touchdowns with 9 coming in.
From the 35, no gain, second down, and pitch to Jackson this time around the right side. He's to the 30. Gary Willis crunches him down at the 28-yard line.
Good hit by Willis, but the second time that Ed White, the Commodores were able to get a man on the outside. That time Sim Banks a little too deep and couldn't beat the man to the outside. And you saw Willis come up with a hard hit, but second time now that Ed White has gotten a man sprung to turn the corner on the outside there on this near side of the field.
Jackson was short of the first down, bringing up 3rd and 1 from the 26. 5:22 to play in the third quarter with 3 wide receivers right. The Commanders of Ed White. Give to William Means up the middle. It's going to be close.
Well, we're now at the 5-minute mark of the third quarter here, and with the score 21-0, Ed White right now probably with their best chance to go in of the ball game, put some points on the board.
Means will stop short. It'll be 4th down and 1.
And obviously they have to go for it here, that trailing 21-0.
And they send 3 men wide right. Only man in the backfield is Dexter Jackson.
Looks like encroachment from where we sit.
Looks like,
sure enough,
Cats jumped.
So that far side, looks like George Fleming and Sim Banks over there, a little bit over anxious. And 5-yard penalty. Sort of takes a little bit of the pressure off the offense with that 4th down execution as they get the automatic first down with the penalty.
And now the pressure is on the Bobcat defense as they cannot let the Commanders crawl back into this game. Wilkins sprinting out left. Looks like he's going to keep it. Not a wise decision, but the only one he had at the moment. And he'll be dropped for a loss back at the 26.
Stopped by Williams and Willis. Here's the flag.
Got another flag down. We're going to have a personal foul against the Commanders. So that'll knock them back.
I didn't see a flag. Yes, against him. I think it was like a personal foul. Yeah, I saw him pick it up then, but he was right behind the play. I didn't see it.
Well, this one really going to hurt the offense, Ken.
The personal foul mark off back to the 41-yard line.
The Commanders draw a 15-yard penalty for a personal foul.
That might have been why I didn't see it.
Ed White team still being held under 100 yards thus far by the Buchholz defense. I mentioned coming in that the Buchholz defense very, very stingy. Only gives up 1.3 yards per play, and the defense has allowed only 333 yards rushing against them all season long through 6 games.
That penalty was after the fact, after Wilkins was nailed for a loss of 5, so the Commanders have taken a timeout, and when they come back to start again, they'll have a 2nd and 30 from the 41-yard line of Buchholz after they had a first down from the 21.
And you talk about mostly a team comes into a game with goals, and usually the goal on the defensive side is to hold the team to under 100 yards rushing. But Buchholz, I think their goal usually coming in is to hold them under 50, and they've done it a couple of times. They average about 56 yards per game against the defense rushing, which is just absolutely outstanding. And we know that the Commanders have had 2 pretty good runs thus far tonight, but I don't believe, unofficially by our totals, they don't have even 50 yards yet rushing.
So they're set to go 2nd and 30 from the 41 with 3:56 to play in the third quarter. Brad Wilkins sprinting out and they're running the reverse. This is Lee Alvey Smith. They're going nowhere to the 41.
Well, Smith made a nice move as Robbie Hudson had stayed home and contained in the backfield there. Smith made a nice move to get away from him and maybe picked up a yard or 2, but a flag is down on the play. And as you see, hobbling off the field right there, big Clifford Bell, number 75, seems to have an injury to his lower leg. And Bell, of course, alternates with George Fleming, number 71, at one of those defensive tackle positions.
We'll try to get the word on Clifford Bell later. For now, we're checking out the penalty, and it'll be against the Bobcats, so we're seeing more movement of the ball by the guys in the black and white stripes rather than the guys in black or green. Face mask by the Cats. Move things back
for grabbing the face mask.
to the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 16. Wilkins looking to throw again, but this time he pumps and has his man long. And it batted away. A nice play that time. 49, Sebron McCrae.
Boy, McCrae saved the day that time because Pasco Williams was beat but good. He had bid on that fake, as we saw that Ed White all game long had been throwing that real quick one all the time. And that time Pasco Williams went for it. He was beat by 15 yards downfield. And that had touchdown written all over it. But linebacker Sebron McCrae, and we talked about the defensive Buchholz, their linebackers with that great quickness. McCrae came over there to knock the ball down and save the touchdown. And believe me, he gets a glad hand from Pasco Williams because he saved Pasco on that play.
Pasco out of the ball game, and now Rodney Young has come limping off. And on 3rd and 16, pitch to Dexter Jackson. Jackson crunched hard at the 28. Gary Willis again, he makes a living out of those kind of plays. That's a dangerous way to make a living.
Well, the defense is working hard. They missed a couple of tackles that time, and Kevin Peoples looks as though he maybe has suffered a little ankle injury right there. Flag is down, and it will be a blocking foul against Ed White as they're talking things over with the Buchholz defensive captain, number 14, Dale Warren, the tackle. And the Cats choose to decline it and bring up the 4th down.
They make it a 4th and 19 from the 29. That was would have been the 4th penalty in just this short exchange of plays. We've got another player down for the Commanders.
It looks to be their one of their top defensive players, I believe, Ken. That's Freitas, who's a star on defense. Obviously, he goes both ways, but Rich Freitas, I think it is number 13, senior, who plays linebacker, and yes, it is Freitas. Appears to have just had the wind knocked out of him. Looks okay. And on 4th and a bunch, it looks like they're going to go for it.
From the 29. They need to get to the 10, so 4th and 19. Wilkins to throw again, looking for a man, and ball falls incomplete. Sebron McCreary almost had it. They were looking on those quick pattern again, looking for Rodney Tozier once again.
Tozier had turned away from the ball. Then it was deflected at the line of scrimmage by Todd Harrison. McCray came over and made an apparent catch, but I guess when he hit the ground, the ball hit with him, and it was called incomplete. Willis actually does better on the incompletion as they pick up a few extra yards. And they come off the field to a nice hand from this big homecoming contingent right below us here. And now 1-0 to score, you see it.
And now we see Rodney Straughter in, so Clint Alexander, the homecoming king, is done for the night. And on 1st down, they give it to John L. Gainey. Gainey across 30, 35, 40. He may break this around the way. Here's to the 40, the 30, the 20. John L. Gainey in for the touchdown from 71 yards. Well, that was easy.
Gainey finally broke one. They've been waiting all year for Gainey to break one. He got just enough of a block on the outside from Johnny Dickerson to get sprung. But you saw the way he made that cut, held the defense, and then just used that great speed of his to get to the outside. And then, as they say, turned on the old afterburners for that long touchdown. But it's been a long time between big drinks for Gainey. And goes a long way for a touchdown on that one.
So the extra point will be forthcoming.
Can you hear me? Now,
Of course, the Cats are going to talk things over. But now we've got another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Touchdown is good. Clint Alexander getting set to hold. Quickly, let's go down on the field now to Paul Grove.
Bobcat defense tackle Clifford Bell took a severe shot to the knee, but he says he's okay. No severe damage.
Merritt Island Mustangs will be here at Citizens Field against the Bobcats, who will also be undefeated after this game, barring an earthquake.
And for those who follow Bobcat football, I'm sure they're all aware that at this stage of the season last year, Ken, Buchholz had an identical 7-0 record, coming off a victory over Ed White and heading into Merritt Island. Merritt Island defeated the Cats by a score of 34-23, and that really turned around the Buchholz season. They were beaten in the next week by Rebold, and of course Rebold follows Merritt Island 2 weeks from tonight.
This is Dexter Jackson of the 25 on the kickoff and slips down at the 35.
Jackson on the return. Slips and falls at the 35. 10-yard return.
We've got 2:27 to play in the third quarter. We saw Coach Al Warnicki go to the bench and bring in Rodney Straughter. And Straughter on one play just pitch it to Gainey and let him do the rest of the work. 71 yards later, the Cats had a 28-0 lead.
Straughter probably came over the bench and said, "Hey, Clint, now that's the way you move a team." Well, Rodney's going to get his chance to move him next year. He's a junior, and he takes over as #1 quarterback for the Cats in 1987.
We'll talk more about where Clint Alexander may be next year. But first, we've got Jeff Todd again in a quarterback, throwing long and overthrows. He was looking for 85 Mike Curry. He got his feet tangled up with Gary Willis at left corner, and they threw the flag. Now, who it's going to be on, we have no indication yet. Now we do. They will call Gary Willis for pass interference. So Gary Willis playing a great ball game at left corner, just was watching the ball, and Mike Curry was watching it too, and they tangled, and they throw the flag. It'll be 15. And put the ball right at midfield. A minute 45 to play in the third. Ken Tomash, Bob DeLessio with you from Citizens Field. Jeff Todd in at quarterback for the Commanders. Jeff Wilkins started and could get nothing going. And as Todd takes a snap and drops back, we've got flags and whistles. We'll see what this will be on. It'll be illegal procedure on the part of White. So the third quarter turning into a penalty-filled one. They'll drop it back 5 more on 1st and 15. From the 45, Commanders will go at it again. Throwing again and almost picked off by Johnny Taylor. Jeff Todd throwing another one of those quick screens. Looked like it might have even bounced off the chest of Johnny Taylor, who was the most surprised guy in the ballpark to see it hit him. Well, if you're looking to an answer to the question, when does a team think it has a game in hand? It's when they send their coaches away from the booth. We've been sitting next to the Buchholz Bobcat coaches all night long. They have left the booth. And Dexter Jackson gets the carry on 2nd and 15 and gets a couple.
I thought even though with the band whooping it up right below us, it had gotten a little quieter up here. I noticed something.
Maybe they went out trick-or-treating.
Yes. They had their costumes on, I'll tell you what. That they did.
3rd and 13 now from the 43 after Jackson gets 2. And another quick screen. This time it's out to Leelby Smith. Smith is across midfield and down to the 46, but that'll be well short of the first down. Sebron McCrae was the man who brought Smith down.
Buchholz band takes a break. And one thing about Buchholz, you got to hand it to them. They probably have the world's largest cheerleader contingent. We can get a look at them sometime.
Del Klein to punt again, and the Cats set up the return again. The left-footed kick is a good one. Inside the 20 and down at the 20. From where the Bobcats will take over. Most of the second unit players going in now.
I wonder if the cheerleaders have a first and second team. They sure have enough numbers.
Well, they've got a JV squad as well as a varsity, and everyone is out here tonight on homecoming.
By the way, we mentioned homecoming a couple of times. Ken, I know you mentioned how Clint Alexander was the homecoming king, and we would be remiss unless we mentioned the homecoming queen, and our congratulations from Cox Cable go out to Dana Kemp, 1986-1987 homecoming queen for Buchholz High School.
Rex Stevens gets the carry as Coach Al Warnicki starts to bring in the reserves, and Stevens gets a couple as the third quarter comes to a close. 12 minutes to play in this one from Citizens Field on a homecoming Halloween night. It's Buchholz 28 and Ed White nothing.
Stevens carry.
Try to tell you some of the substitutes that are in now. Thomas Christman is in at a wideout. Of course, Robbie Matheny and Rex Stevens in the backfield. Rodney Straughter at quarterback. And Chris Golden in at a wingback now. On 2nd and 8. Pitch to Stevens off the left side. Stevens runs hard, but only gets a couple.
Stevens carries.
And now Mark Nolte will check in at a wideout. We've seen what the Buchholz second unit can do. They're a good team. We saw against the East Side. They racked up some points of their own. Stevens got a yard to make it 3rd and 7 from the 23. Straughter, the quarterback. Give it to Matheny, the fullback. And he's across the 25 to about the 26. But they'll be short of the first down. And now we will see Johnny Dickerson as the Cats will punt for only the second time tonight. In the first quarter, it was Matheny punting. Now he's the up back for Johnny Dickerson, who's a regular punter. And Dickerson gets it away. This will be L.V. Smith, and Smith is about to the 47-yard line. 10:33 to play in the game, the clock running. Ken Tomash and Bob DeLessio with you from Citizens Field. And Buchholz on the long end of that 28-0 homecoming Halloween score. See some people starting to leave, some parents starting to leave, maybe get in a little late trick-or-treating, if there's any candy left in the city. So White will begin their first drive of the fourth quarter from their own 47-yard line with 10:19 to play. As Jerry Reed said, they got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
By the way, Ken, of course, this will be the last meeting between these two teams for quite some time. Now the Buchholz will be moving down in their classification to 4A next season. This is their 4th consecutive meeting since Buchholz moved up back in 1983. Coincidentally, when Al Warnicki took over as head coach.
Jeff Todd in at quarterback. Throwing, it's almost picked off. Almost a rude welcome by Rod Welcome. Stepped in front of Dexter Jackson, who was open.
Had just a little bit of greenery in front of him.
Jeff Todd No way he could have seen Rod Welcome put out the mat, as it were. And that would have been a nice Halloween gift for Rod Welcome, the sophomore safety. So 2nd and 10 from the 47. And looking again for Johnson. For Jackson, rather. Jackson just dropped that one.
Intended for Jackson.
We were mentioning a moment ago, Ken, the brief history between these two teams. It started back in 1983, which we said was Al Warnicke's first of his 4 years at Buchholz. Back then, in a game which was played in Jacksonville, Buchholz went up there and defeated Ed White by a score of 37-3. Then next year, right at Citizens Field in 1984, it was a stunning upset as Ed White defeated Buchholz 17-6. And we mentioned the big win last year, 46-26 by the Bobcats.
Jeff Todd dropping a pass, can't find the handle on the football, and he's finally brought down way back at the 30.
Well, that should have been ruled dead at the 42 because he went to his knee.
Stopped by Mike Ferguson.
And you can't go to your knee and get back up, unless, of course, you're the holder on a kick. But they let it go, and they lose 10 more yards on the play. Not that it's all going to really matter.
Now we see Pasco Williams standing at his own 30 to receive the punt from Del Klein. Klein again with a nice kick. He's a good punter. And Williams from the 34 can't find the handle, picks it up. And he's going nowhere. Running in place, it looked like. And again, the Cats take the field on offense.
1 yard return. 1st and 10 Cats.
28-0, Ken. Game well in half for Buchholz. About 9 minutes left in the game. This is pretty much proved to be a tune-up for the Cats heading into that showdown next week with #1 Merritt Island. Sort of coming in, you had the feeling that the Buchholz team, a little bit apprehensive, sort of as the heavyweight fighter getting ready for that championship fight.
And Stronger on the pitch looking for Norman. Throws it behind Norman, and Norman has to pick it up, and he's finally swarmed under at the 15. Inexperienced quarterback there running the option. They got their signals crossed, and Stronger flipped to the place where Norman was supposed to be, but Norman wasn't there. So it's a loss all the way back to the 17-yard line. Loss of 17.
Buchholz band still hanging in there.
And the Cats are set to go with Robbie Matheny and Rex Stevens in the backfield. This is Stevens. Good moves by the youngster Stevens as he's across the 25 to the 27. Stevens is a junior, 5'10" and 173 pounds. Showed some good moves there. He got to the 27. So a gain of 10 yards. But it'll still be 3rd and 17 from that spot. 7:42 to play in the game. 28-0 Buchholz. As you see Lamar Thomas, who's had a nice night of his own. Whole Buchholz offense has. Now Stronger looking for his first pass. Scrambles out of the pocket. Looks to throw. Now keeps it. We've got a flag down. And Stronger's across the 40 to the 42. Hit hard there by Barry Elrod, who's played a good game of his own in the secondary for the Commanders.
Flag way back at the 25-yard line of Buchholz, and this one's going to come way back that way. Holding against the Cats. Really hasn't been a great offensive game for Buchholz. Of course, Gainey had the long run. But 3 turnovers, several penalties. We mentioned it earlier, they're going to have to improve. Of course, mentally right now, and with the second team in there, they're not fired up for this game, like I'm sure they will be next week. It's a whole different world when you get a team on your home turf. And next week you also have Merritt Island and Florida Field, you know there's going to be well over 10,000 fans on hand.
And after that, Cats will have to go up to Jacksonville to take on Ringgold, and then Orange Parks. They're the last two games on the road. Strutter gives off to Norman, and Norman is across the 25 to the 27 on third down.
If Norman carries.
We encourage, of course, all the fans to head out to Florida Field next Friday night for that 8 o'clock matchup, the showdown between number 1 Buchholz and number 1 Merritt Island and number 3 Buchholz.
And now Johnny Dickerson will punt once more. Snap bounces to him, but he gets it away straight up in the air.
Oh, it got blocked.
And it rolls backwards. The Cats down and now everyone's all over it. And finally, it is down inside the 10 at the 9.
I always wonder why kids jump into a thing like that, because it doesn't matter what happens. The ball's staying where it dies, no matter which color jersey gets picked up by. The ball's not going anywhere, as it was 4th down.
Well, that's the first really strange thing we can say has happened to us on Halloween Eve.
Dickerson's punt finally down.
So when all is said and done, the Cats lose 6 yards on a punt. It's the last time you saw that happen without Joe Theismann punting. And now the Commanders with a chance to get something on the board with 6:22 to play. First and goal from the 10-yard line.
Only thing left for Buchholz now is to preserve the shutout. The outcome of this has long been decided. Now it's just a matter of pride on the scoreboard.
Throwing is Jeff Todd into the end zone, and he's got Ronnie Hayes for the touchdown.
Well, they've been working all night long on Gary Willis, and that time Willis got turned around, fell head over heels, and Ed White with a little consolation as they go in for the touchdown and will avoid the shutout. 5:57 remaining, and now it's 28-6 with the point after upcoming.
It's been a fairly warm evening, but now a cold wind starts to blow, as if to say, get this thing over with. Now the holder, Richard Freitas, throws one away, and it's picked off. So, a little trickery there as the Commanders tried to go for 2. Freitas, the holder, picked it up and just lobbed one like a shot put.
That would have made Garrow your premium proud the way he threw that. There you see the score, 28-6. Here in the 4th, 5:57 remaining on Buchholz's happy homecoming.
Talk a little bit about Clint Alexander, who's out of the ball game now and where he'll be next year. Still got those 5 schools: Stanford, Yale, Harvard, Cal Berkeley, and Wisconsin.
Good to see now that the Buchholz coaches have taken off for the day, that our Cox Cable production staff is getting in their jollies.
There's our sideline man, Paul Grove. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Paul's a little taller than that.
Paul's got a shorter haircut.
Thank you once again, Paul. 5:57 to play in the game. And Del Klein will look to kick off.
I thought they made a pretty cute couple. I don't know about you.
He and Williams are 8.
John Algini and Pascal Williams are deep. And it is an onside kick. Takes a high bounce.
How about that?
Right into the hands of Rodney Tozier, but apparently out of his hands because the Cats have made the recovery. At the 47. And the Cats will go with Steve Geyer now in at a tight end. Lamar Thomas is back in. So is Clint Alexander, who apparently heard us talking about him and wants to show the scouts a little more. To Lamar Thomas in the backfield on the screen. Nice moves by Thomas. Gets by some guys and gives up the football again.
Lamar Thomas catches his second break. Not holding that ball with the most diligence that he could, and it's stripped away. That will go not as a completion and a long gain for Clint Alexander, but that ball was actually thrown backwards, so that's a running play. So Thomas gets some running yards on that, and then, of course, the fumble.
And you may have seen a Commander dive on it, but it didn't have control of it before it went out of bounds, so it reverts to the Cats. And first down from the 35. 5:23 to play in the game. Alexander with the give to Howell up the middle, and Keith is down to the 30.
Hard running that time by Howell. That was the case of the irresistible force meeting the immovable object as he met head-on with Tony Pirelli, number 51, right in the middle of the field there. We heard that all the way up here, even with the band playing. Still some hard hitting going on in the fourth quarter. And a personal foul, some illegal hitting going on as well. 15 more going against Ed White as Buchholz edges closer towards the goal. And what may be their 5th touchdown of the ballgame.
Well, with 5:11 to play, it looks like Coach Al Warnicke's 200th career coaching victory is well in hand. We'll try to get a few words with Coach Warnicke at the conclusion of this ball game before we sign off. Clock running now, 5:06 to play, and a first down from the 15-yard line. Starters back in on offense for Buchholz. Gives to Wayne Moore, the fullback. Moore dropped a loss of one. His knee went down. But the clock continues to run. Now Robbie Matheny checks back into the Cats' backfield.
This is, of course, quite an honor for Coach Al Warnicke. He's coached in Indiana, he's coached in Illinois, and now coming down to Florida and been very, very successful. Of course, at Titusville and now at Buchholz.
No man has won more Florida State titles as Alexander throws it up for Thomas, but a great defensive play made there by Merlin Smith. Alexander looking for his favorite target, Lamar Thomas. Those two have hooked up for 6 touchdowns already on the year.
Broken up by Merlin Smith.
That'll be 3rd and 11 from 16. Clock is stopped now. 4:15 to play. 28-6 Buchholz on a Halloween homecoming evening at Citizens Field. Remember, next week, the unbeaten and top-ranked Merritt Island Mustangs will be here, and we'll have that game for you. Give to Jimmy Normand. Second man through, and he's down to about the 14.
Flag on the play.
There's another flag down.
Really been great that Coach Warnicke has been able to arrange the schedule that Buchholz is now playing with powerhouses like Merritt Island out of their district. Of course, they played the first time last year, and Merritt Island people are very familiar with Coach Warnicke. I don't know how many people remember way back when Titusville really was not a good football program at all. Astronaut was always a good football program before Titusville was, and then Coach Warnicke really turned that program around, and then incredibly turned a team which was what some people might call a cream puff into a back-to-back state champion in 1982 and 1983. Then he made the move up to Gainesville 4 years ago, and now his record stands at 199, 60-4 in 24 and a half seasons.
It is 4th and about 3. The Cat's going to go for it. Give to Robbie Matheny. Matheny is in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the year. On a 4th down play, Matheny is in from 7 yards out.
Like that, however, it looks as though we're going to have an unsportsmanlike penalty called against Ed White. That's about the third against them. See, those Buchholz fans have stuck around. They all want to miss a bit of this homecoming happiness.
And now the Commanders will take a timeout before Everett McCarthy can kick the point after. It's 34-6 Buchholz with 3:47 to play in the game.
We mentioned, Ken, this milestone for Coach Warnicke as we look at some of the fans still in attendance here, Citizens Field. Mentioned coaches Warnicke's 2 state championships at Titusville. As we said, he won 2 back there in 82 and 83. Most people don't recall that he also won back-to-back state titles when he coached at Belgrade Central High School in 1971 and 1972. And there's only been 2 coaches in the history of the state that have won 4 state titles. And he's won 2 at 2 different schools back-to-back. So that's really the big milestone that he wants. He wants to be the first coach ever to win 5 state titles. And tell you what, we'll know a lot more about that next week.
And it would be at 3 different schools if he can pull it off this year.
You know, 200 wins tonight. He's very proud of that, I'm sure. But what I think he's even more proud of is the fact that over 200 of his players have signed college scholarships.
A lot of those have gone on to earn degrees as Robert McCarthy kicks the point after out of the hold of Clint Alexander. We've got 3:47 to play in this ball game, and the Cats have taken a 35-6 lead. It all started back in the first quarter. John Algaini, a 17-yard touchdown run. Then Clint Alexander hit Jimmy Norman for 33 yards and a touchdown. Later on in the second quarter, he hit Johnny Dickerson for 9 yards and a touchdown. In the third quarter, John Algaini broke off a 71-yard touchdown run. White got on the board, avert the shutout. Ronnie Hayes caught a 10-yard touchdown pass from Jeff Todd. The pass failed, and it was 28-6, and you just saw Robbie Matheny with his second touchdown run of the year to make it 35-6. Another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty means McCarthy will be kicking off from the 45-yard line. This kick is going to go out of the end zone for a touchback.
McCarthy's kick is in the end zone, touchback.
So the Commanders draw no further time-wise to a big demotion. They've just announced that they'll be playing that game at Florida Field next week. Not here at Citizens Field as we originally thought. They're expecting a big crowd, and as well they should. I'm sure a bunch of folks from Merritt Island will be over here for that one. So 1st and 10 now from the 20-yard line of White. They will have Jeff Todd, the quarterback. 3:47 to play. And Todd is looking to throw again quickly. Out of the backfield, he hits Ronnie Hayes again, and Hayes is up to about the 30-yard line. That'll be close to the first down. Might have it. That is a first down, 10-yard gain. Clock running now, 3:20 to play. First down from the 30. Again with a quick pass. This time to Mike Curry. A 5-yard gainer with Kevin Peoples on the stop makes it 2nd and 5 from the 35. Todd looking to throw again. This pass battled away at the line of scrimmage by Johnny Taylor. So 3rd and 5 from the 35. 3:03 to play in the game. Back to passes Todd, looking long this time for Curry. Or rather, Rodney Tozier. Clint Alexander was back there defending.
Point on the coverage. A reminder, you're invited to remain after the game for the performance by the Ed White High Band.
So 4th and 5. And to punt now, Randall Davis. And he gets the punt high, but not very far. Calling for the fair catch and making it is Gary Willis at the 44-yard line of Buchholz. Remember, next week, Buchholz and Merritt Island from Florida Field. The week after that, Gainesville High and Ocala Forest. That'll be a division showdown. The week after that, intercity rivalry, GHS and Eastside. Rodney Straughter on first down hits Thomas Christman, and Christman is across midfield down to about the 48.
Straughter's pass complete to Christman.
Call it a 7-yard gain and make it 2nd and 3 from the 48. Straughter running the option, keeping himself, and now he pitches to Jimmy Norman. Gets away again, and Norman having to do a lot more running than he would like to, all the way back to the 43.
I think young Straughter might hear a little bit about that after the game. And how about that? That tells the story.
For a special ceremony.
Someone had a little bit of anticipation. That's right, Warnke wins 200.
Well, they knew we were going to get it sometime this year. It's just a matter of when. So 3rd and 11 now. From the 43, Straughter to throw. Looking for Mark Nolte, but overthrew him.
Straughter's pass intended for Nolte.
Coach Warnke, who will win his 200, 1 minute and 31 seconds from this moment, will be the 6th coach in the history of the state of Florida to win 200 games. Of course, the old-time leader is legendary coach of Gables, Nick Codis, who had Powerhouse for many years down in Miami. Tallahassee Leon's Gene Cox is 2nd with 250. Of course, he's still coaching. I think he has about 6 wins this year.
Again, the snap bounces to Dickerson, but he gets the punt away, and calling for the fair catch and making it is Dexter Jackson at the 30-yard line. So the last hurrah for the Commanders.
And running down that top 5, who Coach Warnke will trail. The third coach, 7 behind Gene Cox coming into the season, is Bartos Paul Quinn with 243. Ryan Crest from Fort Lauderdale, Bill Muncie has 216 wins. And a man who people in this area have been very familiar with for many years, Dub Palmer, who's still going strong down at 2A Dunellen, has 219. And Coach Warnke will be number 6 with 200 wins in about a minute and a half.
We've got to get the ceremony on Warnke at the end. We're going to have the ceremony on Warnke.
Clock now running. Hard rush by Buchholz.
And this is picked off. Kevin White picks off the pass of Jeff Todd and goes all the way down inside the 20 to the 15.
8th interception of the year for Buchholz. Flag is down on the play, however. Let's see how that comes out. But Buchholz with its 8th interception of the season. And first for that young fella.
So Kevin White's interception put the ball inside the 20. We've got another flag down.
Also invited to remain after the ceremony for the performance by the Ed White High School Band.
So they'll mark off another one against White and put it down inside the 10 at about the 7.5. 1:09 to play in this game. 35-6 Buchholz over Jacksonville White. The Cats now move to 2-0 in the district, a game behind 3-0 Ribault, who they will face in 2 weeks. And now they're going to bring the ball back. They're basically offsetting penalties, but they felt like they had to march the ball back both ways. And now another personal foul, and they'll bring it all the way back. So a lot of exercise and much ado about nothing to put the ball back where it was not too long ago at the 8-yard line. They're going to honor Bobcat coach Al Warnicki in a special ceremony after this game. Stay tuned for that. First down from the 8. Strotter again in a quarterback, give to Norman.
Get Norman, Gary. Tackled by Hickory.
Norman got nowhere, so it'll stay 2nd and goal from the 8.
Buchholz in absolutely no hurry here, Ken. I think they'll just run this play and let the clock run out if they don't get in right here. They don't need another score.
Strotter looking for one. Hits for the touchdown. Looked like Steve Geyer. No, Chris Golden. Chris Golden with his first touchdown catch. Strotter hit him on an in pattern.
Well, you like to give the kids a chance to score, but I really can't say I think that was too good an idea. But they're in, and it's over with.
Well, it's something Christopher Golden will remember for a while, scoring on homecoming night. An 8-yard pass from Rodney Strotter. Strotter's first touchdown pass of the year. The kick is blocked, and so is Robert McCarthy. Rodney Tozier was in a hurry, blocked that punt, and took McCarthy out for good measure. So it's 41-6. With just 27 seconds to play in the game.
Kim Harris, please report to the press box on the Buchholz side. Kim Harris to the press box on the Buchholz side. McCarthy will kick off. A reminder that Buchholz takes on Merritt Island next Friday night at Florida Field. Game time 8 o'clock.
McCarthy will kick off from the 40 with just 27 seconds to play in the game. Back deep, Dexter Jackson. McCarthy hits it well. Jackson from the 10. The 20 outside. Brought down by Kevin Peoples at the 25.
15-yard return. Kevin Peoples on the tackle.
Clock is running now, 13 seconds. I don't think White's going to get a playoff. Crowd counting it down. And it is over. And Al Warnicki has reached the milestone, 200 career victories. Let's go down on the field now to Paul Grove.
Honoring Coach Al Warnicki on his 200th career coaching victory. That's win number 200 for Buchholz coach Al Warnicki.
You see the final, Buchholz 41 and Ed White 6. So Bob, a big win for the Bobcats, but they can't rest on it too long.
Well, they put 41 points on the board on the day that their offense really didn't look good. So that has to be encouraging. But they've got a ways to go. They're right now, based on this performance, I have to say they're not ready for Merritt Island. I think Coach Warnicke would agree on that. They turned the ball over 3 times. They can't do that next week. They missed probably a dozen tackles. They can't afford to do that next week. Overall, the defense did play well, however. Held the opposing team to 6 points, and they only got that because they were put in position for that score by a blocked punt. And again, the kicking game didn't look good either. So definitely room for improvement for the Buchholz, but 7-0 heading into next week's game with number 1 ranked Merritt Island. Of course, Merritt Island will stay that. We assume Buchholz will stay ranked number 3rd. It's going to be a great game. It was the same position last year when Buchholz was 7-0, and they got taken out by Merritt Island. So revenge factor, state ranking factor, and we mentioned how Coach Warnicke, now with 200, looking to become the first coach ever to win 5 state championships. And you see him there walking off with the game ball, and already with some new apparel, his 200th souvenir shirt.
They passed out those T-shirts to just about everybody.
This win earned by his Buchholz Bobcat team.
All the people on the team, and now let's go down to the field. Paul Grove has a very special guest.
I'm with Coach Warnicke, number 200. How does it feel, Coach?
Well, it feels very good. Kids played really well second half. We did things that we wanted to do, and we got a little sloppy, but I'm very pleased. The kids did a super job. They're the ones that give me these 200 victories, and I'm just very pleased that they feel that way, and our coaching staff did an excellent job.
Now you got to turn your focus attention to Merritt Island, number 1 team in the state. Is there a weakness you can explore, or is there any weakness at all with Merritt Island?
Well, I hope that our speed that we can play a little bit on. Defensively, they're a very fine ball club, and then what they've really done, they run the wishbone, and what we've got to do is not let them hold the ball for 45 plays and only give us 15. We got our work cut out for us. They're a good, excellent football team. We feel we are too. So it should be a great game for our field next week.
Congratulations, Coach. Now I think we got a presentation here for you.
On behalf of the quarterback club, we'd like to present this momentum of your 200th win. We're proud of you and the team. Wish you many more victories in the future.
Well, thank you. I'm just pleased with the community and all. It's just very nice to know that everybody cares so much. I love this whole community. Thank you very much.
Coach Warnicke, I would like to present to you from the administration and staff this coaching jacket representing your 200.
And they move pretty quick. They don't run quarter miles, but they sprint. And let's look at some highlights right now, okay? The Purple Hurricanes of Gainesville High hosting Ocala Vanguard this evening in a district game. Vanguard clearly the favorite, but anything can happen when you're on the road. Second half action in this one, Thomas Kroger, the big man inside for Gainesville High, lays that one in for 2 points. Then watch the Vanguard play some great defense here. There's the steal. Dennis Barnes will stop. He'll pop 2 points right there. Nice play by Vanguard. Keith McGriff will answer back for the Purple Hurricanes as they try to keep it close. Nice move underneath there. But then watch Ricky Williams with a great pass to Dennis Barnes. The big slam dunk. And the final from GHS. Vanguard wins this one by 10, 64-54. Interlochen, a loser to Hawthorne. No surprise there. 80-46 the final. Eastside beats Palatka 63-48. And Ocala Forest over Bradford 58-49. Also tonight, the number 5 team in Class 2A, Dixie County, taking out a 4A school, Buchholz. David Frazier for the Bobcats, 2 of his 22 points. He also had 11 rebounds tonight. Angelos McDowell with a nice move there for Dixie County. The little guys trying to stay close, but it's not easy. Kevin Peoples with the jumper for Buchholz. Nice play there. Then Scotty Washington will answer Dixie County. You know, they're not afraid of these big guys, they like to say. Nice shot out of the corner. Then Clint Alexander, the former quarterback, who'll be a quarterback at some place in the ACC. We'll let you know about that soon. The final from Buchholz is Buchholz wins this one 81-55. PK Young upsets Santa Fe tonight. A hoop and a holler from Ralph, 53-49. Bronson a winner over Ocala St. John, 64-50. Union County beats Lafayette. A couple of girls score. Ocala Vanguard beats Eastside by 20. Oak Hall a winner again tonight. And Hawthorne girls also beat Interlochen 61-42. If you're watching tonight at 6, you heard Ed Badger, a scout for the Boston Celtics, talking about Vernon Maxwell and Andrew Moten and what the pros thought of them. Tonight he talks about some other members of the Gator basketball team, starting out with Dwayne Shinsays.
I saw them in the Jacksonville tournament, and he's really improved since then, and he's a fine prospect if he keeps coming along. And you you have excellent coaching with Norm here that he's going to be in the top 5 when he's a senior, you know, maybe even higher. Chris Capers can jump. You know, he's a nice leaper, has a nose for the ball, good rebounder. Joe Lawrence is, I know he's a good shooter from seeing him in the past, and he has an outside shot. Someone's going to take him, and you know, if he has a good camp, he has a chance to stick.
College basketball scores tonight. Number 5, DePaul beats Marquette 88-76. Number 15, Duke 98-86 over Harvard. Seton Hall beating St. John's at the half 27-22. And Miami loses to Angie Dickinson's sister, Farley Dickinson, 73-70. High school football players will be able to sign national letters of intent with their selected colleges tomorrow. And TV 20 Sports has learned that Buchholz quarterback Clint Alexander will play for former Gator quarterback Steve Spurrier at Duke. The Blue Devils' new coach was watching his recruit play hoops earlier tonight.
We think Clint is an outstanding drop-back passer. He's the all-state quarterback here in Florida, and hopefully we can get him to come up to Duke and throw a lot of passes for us in the future.
Lake City Community College playing its first game on its new field.
Good athlete, and he took Escambia to one of their 2 state titles. A third Escambia Gator, offensive guard Mark White, also signed with Florida today. Now let's talk about another quarterback from Clinton, Mississippi. His name is Kyle Morris, number 11. He'll sign with the Gators tonight. He stands 6'4", 205 pounds, and he's regarded as one of the top quarterback prospects in the southeastern United States. He is a strong-arm kid, as I said, real big. He runs real well. Talk about big, signing with Florida. Another one of those players from Tallahassee who decides to come to Gainesville instead of staying and going to Florida State. Leon defensive lineman Brad Culpepper, all-state at 6'3" and 255 pounds. Okay, let's check out the rest of the signings that have been announced today. Ephesians Bartley, a linebacker out of Jacksonville Fletcher High. A big one, Mike Brandon out of Perry Taylor County High, defensive tackle. And Arden Cisniewski, a great kicker out of Tampa King High School. And we have Stefan Zmak, a linebacker from Apopka. The Gators always do well down in the Apopka area. Tony McCoy from Orlando Evans, another defensive lineman. And Jason McClellan, a big offensive tackle from Alabama. Greg Baldwin, a junior college linebacker from Ventura College in California. And Jeff Reuter from Glendale, Arizona Community College. Hashim Ismail, an offensive lineman from Auburndale. And also 2 guys from Merritt Island, Cal Dixon, a center, and Jerry Odom, a linebacker. His dad coached him and also played for the Florida Gators way back when. Florida isn't even done signing yet. They've got some more to do, and they'll announce more names over the next day or so, so stay tuned for those. We'll have those for you later. Meanwhile, 3 area athletes were signing college scholarships today. Buchholz players Clint Alexander, Gary Willis, and Todd Harrison were the stars of the day. Alexander, the all-state quarterback, guess where he's going? Yeah, he's going to go up to Duke and play for Coach Steve Spurrier.
I felt the most wanted at Duke. I had a really good trip up there, and I'm very inspired by Coach Spurrier because he was a former quarterback, and his style of offense is definitely the way I fit in, and I felt really good about it.
Signed with Kentucky to play defensive back for Jerry Claiborne, and Harrison will be a tight end for North Carolina State. Buchholz coach Al Wernicke happy for all 3 of his players.
These are 3 fine young men signing today, and what's really makes them fine, they're school leaders. They have better than 3.5 grade point averages. They've been.
We're glad he did.
It's going to come out.
It's sort of insulting, though. I don't know.
But this crop, I'll tell you.
Hey, it's just think if 250, schools were after you, it's tough to pick one.
This crop is excellent, though, Randy.
Looks
Emmett
like
Smith
it.
and all.
So you really don't know for 2 or 3 years, but it looks great on paper, at least right now. All you Gator fans out there can stop worrying. Emmett Smith is coming to Gainesville this fall. The running back from Pensacola, Escambia, had narrowed his choices to Florida, Auburn, and Nebraska, and he worried some Gators when he showed up at his press conference today in red and white, Nebraska's colors. But he did sign with the orange and blue, so Galen Hall has to be one happy man tonight. Smith is the all-time leading rusher in Florida high school history, and he won the equivalent of the high school Heisman Trophy this past season. He also scored 106 touchdowns in his prep career. That is a national record. Looking at the signees today, a lot of backs. Emmett Smith heads up the list from Pensacola. Jimmy Spencer from Belglade. Johnny Nichols, a quarterback also from Pensacola, Escambia. Herbert Perry, he is from Mayo Lafayette. He's also a quarterback. That's where Kerwin Bell played. We also have Terrence Barber. He's a wide receiver, parade All-American, told everyone he was going to Florida State. Forget about it. He ends up at Florida. Also, Alonzo Sullivan. He is also a quarterback, and he is from Largo High School. We go down now to a lot of linemen signed by Florida today. You'd hate to pay the food bill for these guys next year. Greg Baldwin, he's a junior college transfer from Los Angeles. Ephesians, I think I pronounced that right, partly. He's from Jacksonville. Michael Brandon, the big kid from Perry Taylor County. We also have Hesham Ismail. We got a lot of great names here today. He's from Lake Alfred. Tony McCoy from Orlando. Jason McClellan from Alabama. Stephance Mackey is from Apopka. Len Mealy from Mississippi. A lot of guys from out of state today. Andy Newman from Jacksonville. Jeff Reuter. He is from an Arizona junior college. Mark White, another Pensacola Escambia player. A lot of guys from there coming. Steve Scoggins from Orlando. From Lauderhill, Tim Thompson. Some more here. We got Brad Culpepper from Tallahassee Leon. Cal Dixon. Willie McGrady, he is from Palatka. More linemen, yes. Godfrey Miles, Gerald Odom, Tim Palkin, Tony Rowell, too. We've got a kicker, and he's got a good name, too. Yeah. He's from Tampa. Artis Wisniewski, expected to sign tonight, are Scott Ball, Kyle Morris, and Dexter Austin. That is a load of players for the Gators. Some local players also signing with Division I schools today, including 3 over at Buchholz. They are Clint Alexander, Gary Willis, and Todd Harrison, and they explained how they made the tough choice of which school to attend.
I felt the most wanted at Duke than any other school that I'd visited, and Coach Spurrier being at Duke really had a great impact on my decision, and I seemed to fit in there.
I definitely do have a great chance to go up there and play my first year, and a great aspect of their school was the way they helped the athletes with their academics.
I basically decided at the beginning of last week, and it took a load off my back. I could finally get back to schoolwork and start concentrating on baseball now, which has helped a lot.
Least we forget the Gator basketball team playing again tonight.